Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Always Open. I promise I'll never start any other episode like that. Maybe not. I'm lying to you. I'm your host, Barbara Dunkelman, and with me today, I have...
Jessica Vasami. Hello.
Kati Morton.
Yay, she's back.
And it's me, your
yeah.
friendly neighborhood baby.
Yeah, you get some thoughts too.
Baby.
Why are you a baby this week?
Well, so I asked a bunch of people online what they liked about the show, what their favorite segments are, and so many people were like, "We missed you saying my friendly neighborhood, blah blah blah." So I was like, I got to bring that back
Well, there
because I've
you
just
go.
been sticking to "It's me" and then moving on.
Well,
So we're back.
Back to
Okay.
basics.
I love
Back
it.
to basics.
But why baby?
I don't know. I just feel like I'm a little crazy.
Because you're starting new. You're starting as a baby, and we're gonna because it was gone, and now you're starting.
Right,
new.
I'm starting over.
Here we go.
It's a rebrand. It's a rebrand.
Rebirth.
It's a rebirth.
Yeah.
And welcome back, Kati,
Yeah.
to the show.
Gosh,
So happy you're back.
We went so long. We loved you on the first time, and then we brought you back, and we were like, we need to bring her back again.
yeah, I know.
know.
I'm so excited.
This is I like this. What's it called? Length of time in between your appearances is getting
Right.
shorter and shorter. And that makes me happy. The
We
frequency.
need you back.
And Jessica, hi, welcome back
hello,
to you.
Hello, thanks everybody.
Look at her bangs.
Bangs.
Banging.
Thanks.
Banging.
Did you have bangs last time you were on?
No, I didn't. I actually think I was on the show before, like 2 days before I got bangs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How
So
do you feel like a new woman?
I sometimes love them and I sometimes hate them. So today's a love day.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
They look awesome.
Thank
I'm always
you.
jealous of bangs because as a curly-haired person, I'm like just waiting for horns.
I know. My hair is curly. You wouldn't think so. I have to do so much. I have to do the round blow
yeah.
dryer, put a bunch of shit in
That's
it.
the one thing about bangs. It's maintenance.
It is.
And
yeah.
I just can't.
I took this. I knew going into this, if I that's why I did it during winter because if it was during the summer, it's just gonna be a frizz ball,
Yeah.
like a
Or like
ball
sweat.
of frizz. Yeah, exactly.
Then it's like,
Yeah.
like, and I'm the devil.
yeah.
I had bangs a couple
Yeah.
times, and I used to equate them to that scene in Jurassic Park where that little girl, she has like the fringe that curls out
Yes.
to the
Oh,
sides,
yes.
Yes.
and she's like,
He left us.
he left us. Her bangs are wibbling too.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Every time
I don't
want
remember your
bangs.
hair looking like that, but if you do, I believe you.
I never let anybody see it. Oh,
I
Destroy all
Your
evidence.
bangs? I haven't had bangs since I was like 6 years old.
well,
Are you telling me I look like a child?
Yes. No. What did I say when you got your bangs? What was I doing?
You actually gave me the best compliment.
Yeah,
What'd you
I was
say? It looked
really
consistently
nice.
just like, you look so good.
Yeah.
does.
And she
It
never
looks
is not.
fitting.
She's never that nice to me. So
Always nice to you.
that's not true.
on next episode of Always Open.
We'll work it out. Actually, no. We got a therapist here. Couples therapy.
There we go.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm gonna need more of this.
Perfect.
All right, well, let's get into things. We're going to start things off with one of my favorite segments that we don't do often enough called Cheers to That.
Yes.
On this segment, we've asked our audience to send in some positive things that have happened in their lives recently, and if any of you guys have things you'd like to contribute, start thinking about that as I read these.
Perfect.
This one comes from Lip Gloss Gavin.
We know
our
her
good
very
friend.
well.
Yes.
Jeannie.
Jeannie.
So
and-
sweet.
And Lip Gloss Gavin writes, my fiance and I recently got everything in order for her to come live with me for a year and come to RTX London with me. It was very hard, and I'm glad it's sorted now.
Yay!
That's like a long
Cheers
distance
to that.
Yeah, I think, well, I know Jeannie's in London. Cheers to that.
Yes.
Or some,
Netherlands, I think. The
Oh, yeah.
Dutch. And then
And then
Yes, her partner
her
is
fiance is in Melbourne.
Australian?
Yeah.
Melbourne.
Nice.
So far.
Wow.
That's awesome.
They're going to be together soon. Congrats.
Well, yeah. Congrats.
Congrats. Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
And this one comes from Anthony Africano. And Anthony writes, I completed a paper more than 24 hours before it was due instead of procrastinating, and I got an A-.
Yeah.
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 So not me in college.
Yeah.
I know.
It's so funny. Now
I'm like
as
so
an
type A.
now as an adult, I don't procrastinate at all. But in college, it's like all I did.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like you've learned. Like this is not the way to go.
You've grown.
Yeah,
You've
well, I feel
grown.
like if I
A
would-
rebirth.
Yeah, it's my
Yeah.
rebirth.
Yeah, that should just be the title of this episode.
Yeah.
Rebirth.
Rebirth. There we go.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
to
Yes.
that.
Yes.
A-. Anthony, you must be smart.
I am.
You must be smart.
All right, and then the last one we got here is from Fiery Galley. Fiery Gale?
There you go. Fire Gale.
Fiery Gale.
That was good.
And they write, I'm finally getting help for my anxiety.
Yes.
Yay!
Yes. Definitely
that.
cheers to that.
Yes. Cheers.
Yes.
What a perfect one for this episode, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got a bunch of them, so always send those in. We
Yeah,
love
that's
reading
awesome.
them.
Yes.
I love the
Hashtag
like
cheers to that.
positive. There's a positive
We
vibe.
try.
We could use some of that.
You guys are so
Mm-hmm.
good.
Absolutely.
Be positive.
I need more positive
Sprinkle
in
it
my
in.
life.
Yeah.
This episode will be coming out in 2019. We're pre-recording this since we'll be out for the holidays, but this will be one of our first episodes in the new year.
Oh my God.
I think
So,
it
fresh start.
officially is.
Right, yeah. 'Cause I
Yeah.
think
Rebirth.
The other one comes out on New Year's Eve.
Again.
first episode of the new year.
Yeah.
2019, how are we looking in 2019?
Do we look good?
Fresh as a daisy.
New year, new us.
New us. Well, what about you guys? Any positivities that you'd like to share?
I think the holiday extravaganza went super well. I think we all worked as a great team. Everybody contributed, and it brought us all closer together, and we had a great time and had a great show.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Yeah, we did a live kind of SNL style sketch comedy show that I think was our first live production.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yep.
That's awesome.
It was terrifying,
Yes.
but so much fun.
Didn't
But
you
yeah.
do a live show after we taped last time or something? You guys were doing something. You were going to a
What?
Oh yeah, we had.
Was it at for the?
It was at
Live
Comedy
Week?
Festival.
Oh, Out of Bounds.
Oh, yes.
We
Yes.
did our first comedy festival.
Yeah.
Last time you were in town, and that was
like,
pretty
it's-
scary, but it was also really cool.
Yeah, that was just us doing essentially this podcast.
Yeah.
But for this extravaganza that we did, it was like sketches that we wrote, and
Oh,
like there was like
fun.
costume changes and set changes and everything like that. Broadcast kicked ass. They were great.
Oh, they
Barbara
kicked
wrote a
so much ass.
hilarious sketch called Blood Goblin.
Yes, you did, and it was great.
Even the
Barbara
name
wrote
alone.
that.
You'll have to watch.
I'm like, I will check that.
Yeah.
I think that would probably be my cheers to that.
Yeah.
I wrote my first ever sketch for Rooster Teeth live action.
Yeah.
Crushed it.
And it was part of the extravaganza, and people seemed to like it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yay.
Cheers to that.
Cheers
Yes.
To me.
Yeah, so you're so crazy.
And everybody who was in the sketch and brought it to life,
Yes.
including Miss Jessica.
And that Christina gal.
Oh yeah. But you guys.
Katie wrote a book.
Oh yeah!
That's my cheers to
that.
Yes.
My cheers.
So
crazy.
exciting. We're
Which
gonna
we will
have you-
get into.
Yeah, but that is definitely like for this year. It's been, I mean, I've wanted to be an author for a long time. Yeah. And it's crazy that it's like here, like I can touch
You can
it.
touch it.
It's not like just in my computer and in my brain.
That's crazy. Have you always wanted to write a book?
I have. It's funny because my mom was like, "Remember when you were a kid?" And I was like, "I blocked that out." I'm just kidding. No, but I was like, "Yeah, I guess I did always want to write, and I did always I always wanted to write a book to help people." So
And it's here. in
and
the
now
flesh.
it's here.
I didn't realize that you were coming out with a book until I got mail one day. And I
Yeah.
was just like, what is this? A book! And you wrote like a sweet little card.
Yeah,
and I was like, I'm
you
so
did.
proud.
It's just crazy. It's like surreal. I think it still hasn't really sunk in.
Yeah,
Mariel's gonna want your autograph.
I am. I even brought my Sharpie, but we'll get into
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
We'll get into it.
That? Look at it.
Well, we hope everyone's having a great start to 2019. Send in your cheers to that using hashtag cheers to that for us to read on the show. All right, cupidity time.
Cupidity.
We
Everyone's
need it.
favorites.
Okay, resolution for 2019. It's 2019. Can we stop dabbing on this show? I know I'm going to say it, but I'm going to be the first one to dab after this.
Just get it out.
Because of
Get
who
it out
I
of your
am.
system
I'm
today.
dancing.
When was it? During the holiday extravaganza, I started doing leg dabs.
oh, right.
Oh, that's right.
Leg dab.
You did. Yeah.
Like, ugh.
yeah.
Anyway,
What's in
But
your
I need
life?
space to do that. I can't.
I know,
do
I can't
here.
either. I might
And
kick you.
skirts also make
Yeah,
it
it's not a
difficult.
fun
I
thing.
mean, you got
but
tights.
yeah, tights, everything.
Yeah.
so let's just think about it.
We'll think about it.
Let's think about it. We don't have to commit.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, what's the new thing?
I will
Is that
never
a
let
finger
them back. A dib. It's a little dib.
Yeah.
Little dab.
Kind of sneak it in there.
I think you were like, I got lunch, and I was like, dibby dab.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that. I was like,
I just
okay.
wrote it in a text form.
So it's dibby dab and
Dibby dab.
beep beep.
Beep beep.
All right.
I say
cool.
that a lot now.
That's
There you go.
Barb.
I've
That's
become a
Barb.
car.
Become a car. Beep beep.
All right, Miss Jessica, would you like to go first?
Okay.
You really don't have a
No,
choice.
you go.
You don't have a
first.
choice.
Okay.
All right, and go. What was the duration of your longest romantic relationship?
The one I'm in now, 3.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine you are very interested in a long-term relationship with someone. Would it be worse if they wanted you only for casual sex, or if they were not interested in sex at all?
Probably if they weren't into sex at all.
Do you have a strong sense of self?
Working on it.
Do you like to dance?
I do like to dance.
I knew the answer to that one before I even read it. So a long-term relationship, if they only wanted you for sex or no sex at all?
I feel like if I was in a long-term relationship and they only wanted sex from me, I would feel really low.
Yeah.
And like sad. I
think also the more relationships you are in and the older you get, you realize the importance of everything
Around.
else.
Absolutely. Like me and Devin have that talk a lot. We're just like, because we've had the talk of like, oh, we've been in this relationship a bit. You know, we're not having sex as much. Well, what
Totally
does that
normal.
mean? Yeah, I know. Yeah, and
Yeah.
You're right. It's like it's normal, but then when it happens to you, you're just like, is there something going on? But really,
Do I smell?
yeah,
You
and you
don't like
realize,
my moves anymore?
Yeah, does it not do it for you anymore in bed, baby?
These not work? Is
Yeah.
not working for you?
That's working for me.
Honestly, that's what I do in bed because I can't. I'm not like sexy in bed. I'm just like, I'm more like, in
Well,
bed.
especially if you've been in a relationship for a long time and you have moments of like being really cutesy with each other.
Yeah.
It's hard to turn that around into being like, hey, baby.
I know. If you're like in Trevor's face, like beep beep beep
Yeah.
beep, cute, cute, cute.
If you came at that to me, I would run away.
Hey!
I'd be like, oh, girl,
I'm
is something wrong with your eye?
I know she did do a weird wink. Like,
Hey, baby.
You look great, Barbara.
Sex appeal.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's what this episode's all about.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Katie, would you like to go?
I would like to go.
Oh, wait, no,
Go,
I'm
go, go,
kidding.
go.
All right, and go. Are you a coffee snob?
No.
What's a worse trait to have, greed or laziness?
Greed.
Would you prefer good things happen or interesting things happen?
Interesting things happen.
Do you like writing lists?
Oh, yes, 100%.
I would imagine. Do you think really abstract art, like just splattered paint, can be truly brilliant?
No.
Is it better to live by your own... I'll finish this. Is it better to live by your own moral standards and allow others to live by theirs, or is it better to press your moral standards upon other people?
Oh, don't press. No. Everybody to each their own.
Teach their own. I think there's general morals like don't kill people and...
Yes, but like people will live to their own. I mean, and if they don't, they're incarcerated.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Don't break the law.
Yes.
Although we were talking about this on the podcast the other day, the Rooster Teeth podcast, where we wonder if there are people who commit petty crimes, like the ones that cops don't bother looking into, like stealing packages off of people's steps
I've
or
had
like
stuff
hit and
stolen.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys see there was a really great video of this YouTuber who he like worked on Mars rover. He's like an engineer.
It's like for NASA.
Yeah. Say super, super smart.
Yeah,
Yes.
and he was getting packages stolen, so he built a glitter bomb and put it in a package and like put it in like a fake like Apple box and left it on his porch. And so when you open it, it throws all the glitter everywhere and then sprays fart spray every
spray.
30 seconds.
That's awesome.
Oh my God.
I saw that on Twitter. Someone,
Yeah,
like,
it just came
retweeted-
out and it's brilliant.
Sweet, sweet justice.
It's
It's
the
great.
farts.
Oh.
I love the farts.
Yes, and then he
Two peas in a pod. Two
and then
poos in a
he has cameras on every side of it, so you can see these people like opening it up. And my favorite one, there's this lady who opens it up like in her house. She opens it up and it just goes like, and she goes, just like Waluigi. I have to see this.
I watched the video without
so
sound,
good.
but my favorite is like someone who brought the package into their car and they take off the thing, and then like it takes a second.
Yes.
Like, they start looking and they go, "What the?"
And then their car is like covered.
Glitter, and I think someone's just like, "How the fuck am I gonna explain this to my girlfriend?"
It's like, don't be a shitty person. Don't
Yep.
steal.
Hey, I stole.
There you
Maybe
go.
you should break up with me.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Merle,
That is awesome.
Hit me.
you get to go.
Let's do it.
Okay. And go. You are offered a choice of free training in martial arts or cooking. Which do you take?
Oh, probably martial arts.
Really? Okay. Which is a bigger deal for you, telling someone you really care or oral sex?
Like telling someone to care.
How do you feel about being gagged during sex?
I'm not into it. No one go there.
What is the worst personality trait someone can have? Ooh, that's a big question. Indecisiveness.
Oh my God, no, I'd totally be talking about me. Probably someone who's just, I think, completely unmotivated.
In every way. In every
Yeah,
aspect.
Yeah.
like doesn't really want to do anything.
Anything. Yeah.
What do you guys think is the worst personality trait someone could have?
I think like selfishness, like if it's pure, like because we can do selfish things, but like pure selfishness, which is like
Yeah.
Yeah, to a point where just like other people's well-beings is put at
yeah, or like when you
Yeah.
call somebody and they always turn it into their conversation. You're like,
Yeah.
I just really need to vent. No,
Yeah.
I know people like that.
it's like
Yeah.
drains you of all excitement,
Right.
and joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think kindness, just being like a kind. Some people are just mean.
Mean.
You think kindness is the worst personality trait?
No.
I think she meant.
Oh, I
think
meant
she was
people.
answering.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I meant
the opposite of kindness.
Yes, that's what
Yeah.
I mean. Yeah.
Mean.
Yes. People just mean
Mean-heartedness.
for no
people.
reason. Just
Yes.
Poopy heads.
you know.
Just
yeah, exactly.
Just a big old jerk.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would agree with y'all.
Yeah.
That's interesting. 100%. I'd like to learn to kick someone's ass. 'Cause,
Me-
like, I feel like I'm a pretty decent cooking.
Yeah, that's
I was
the
gonna say,
thing.
especially because you kind of cook already.
Oh, so you already cook, yeah.
I cook.
She
It could be
cooks.
empowering to know that, like, come at me.
Yeah.
That would be like I
Yeah.
feel like cooking
I
you
have
cool.
tools you don't even know.
Teach yourself to an extent. Like
Yeah.
most people we know who've taught themselves cooking, but martial arts would be like that'd be a cool thing to put on your resume.
Yeah. I've wanted to do this for so long. Get a bunch of ladies and just go to like a martial arts class and learn how to, or self-defense class.
I took a self-defense class with a bunch of friends, and that was really cool and also
Yeah.
crazy because you're like, wow, like don't try to kick anybody to like because then they can lift you, put you on your back, like
Yeah.
hold your foot. So you just want to
Good
stomp
to know.
stomp into their feet with your heel.
Okay.
Yeah, and
If
also
you have
don't,
heels on, even better.
don't try
Yeah.
to do the thing where you put your keys between your finger, because there's been stories of women who've done that and like went to hit someone and the keys got lodged into their hand.
Wow.
Oh, that
Also, the
takes
same thing with
practice.
the like uppercut to the nose.
Yeah.
Sometimes if they like tilt their head too far back,
Oh,
and then you could get.
We're supposed to
Jeez.
poke them in the eyes.
There's different things. Like I know there's one where if they're behind you, stepping to the side and going like
Yes.
this all the way back with your fist
Yeah.
into their junk.
Into their crotch, yes.
The ears are really
Yeah, you
sensitive.
can, and you can pull
surprisingly.
them on. Like this sounds real creepy, but my dad was like, he was like, I'm behind you. What do you do? Maybe that's why I have some anxiety sometimes. I'm not sure. Oh man! But he'd be like, it only takes 10 pounds to tear the human ear off, and I'd be like,
Oh my god.
and he's like, somebody tries to fuck with you, you know, you just tear their ear off. And I'd be like, I'm like 12 years old. I'm like, awesome, Dad, cool.
Yeah.
And then you're just like lifting 10-pound weights.
I know.
Yep.
I can do this. I
Yeah.
can do this.
Well,
yeah.
it's like, people say that biting through a carrot is like the same force you need to bite through like your pinky finger.
What?
Oh yeah, I've heard that a few times.
Some
So I'm
facts
always
I
like,
just-
I don't like
La
that.
la la la.
I don't know it.
Oh, it's just here. You know, the
We need
there.
a Men in Black. Like, clear the. Just
yeah,
forget that.
We'll
Right.
get that out of here. Okay. All right. Are we
am I?
ready? Yes.
I'm ready.
All right, Barbara, let's go. Would you ever be willing to skip out on responsibilities such as work, school, or such to stay at home and bone someone?
Yes.
Do you know how to drive a stick shift?
I don't.
How many porn stars can you name off the top of your head?
3?
Damn. Would you be jealous if your partner thought a fictional character was really hot?
No.
Would you consider dating someone who publishes the most intimate details of their relationships in their blog?
I feel like it depends on how intimate, because I have this show where I talk about intimate
That's
details
true.
of my relationships, but not anything like if something happened in my relationship where the other person is like, hey, maybe don't talk about that, I would absolutely respect
right,
that.
totally.
Yeah.
But if someone had a blog where they're just
So,
willy-nilly spreading everything.
Trevor's
all the
Daily
tea.
Herald. Dear world, today
Barbara
Barbara.
skipped work and we boned.
Yep.
what do you think? Get back to me.
Yeah.
XOXO.
Leave it in the comments.
Yeah,
XOXO.
like, make sure to like and subscribe.
Like I'm all for being open, like especially with your friends and you know, people you could trust, but I don't know, like there's some stuff that you just never really share.
When I feel like if you put stuff out there, you can't get it back.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't really like that.
Yeah, I'm always interested to see people who have like vlogs, especially, or YouTubers whose whole content formula is just their relationship.
Yeah.
Because it's like they're trying to bank on that, right? And trying to like be like this, and people idolize it, and they're like, oh my god, they have the perfect relationship. Usually, they never really end up. too well.
Hashtag goals.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I know, I always wonder whenever I see those YouTube channels or like YouTube couples or whatever who do all their vlogs together and all their stuff together, and I'm like, what if this doesn't work out?
Yeah.
And it
Like,
doesn't usually.
Yeah.
Like most of them have broken up. People
Yeah.
are always so surprised. And I'm like, have you met them in real life?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
like I mean, the BFGF people, Jesse and like
Yeah,
I'd seen them at
boyfriend
an
versus
event, and I was like, they haven't been together for a long time that I knew.
Yeah.
And then they were like, and we broke up, and I was like, I thought so.
Yeah, they
But
always
I already
announce it
thought
like
so.
6 months after it actually happens.
Yeah. But it's a lot to put everything out there. I don't know. I always feel like you need to keep something for yourself.
Yeah, because
Healthy
then you
boundaries.
feel like you owe it to people to explain what happened because you put so much
Yeah.
of that relationship
But it's
out
your
there.
real life. It's not like a sitcom where you're like playing a role. You're like, no, but I like go home to that person.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have real
Yeah.
I've been
you know,
watching
issues and
Yeah.
joys.
Yeah.
These fights aren't made up for show.
On the plane, I needed to stay awake, so I needed to put some drama on, and so I put on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And I haven't really watched that show. I've seen like an episode here or there, and I watched like 3 episodes, and it was just so mind-boggling how involved those crews are into their life.
And that's for like years.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
15,
they've been doing
13,
it.
Yeah.
How many seasons?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, because I think I watched the first season of it because I was just
You know, I'm curious about it.
and
for
like
sure.
that's like when the Jenner girls were like
They were little.
9 or
children.
10.
They were
Yeah.
children, and they weren't barely in it because Bruce was so like adamant at the
Yeah.
time. Was
Yeah.
Bruce like,
Yeah. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Caitlyn.
Caitlyn. Yeah.
but yeah.
And I remember watching the show, being like, I wonder when that transition happens. Because like I just
Yeah.
like watched a couple seasons here and there, and like watched
Yeah.
as things changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
crazy.
It
It
is.
is weird.
Other models and makeup
Yeah.
gurus.
And they're all mothers. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's so
But yeah,
weird.
that
I don't
crew
know.
is like.
I don't know
in
how
there.
they do it. And like I
Yeah.
watched the episode where Kim Kardashian, she actually got robbed in Paris.
Oh God.
And found out that they had been like following her for 2 years and stuff, and found out all this information because of watching the show. So I'm just like, I don't know if I want to like give so much.
That's putting
of my
so
out.
much of yourself out
Well, you
there.
even have to
there.
worry just like safety-wise. If you're putting yourself out there, people can figure out where you live. Based
Yeah.
on, like, where you. Yeah.
I'm
and you
surprised
just
it hasn't happened more to them.
I know.
Yeah.
Probably
yeah.
does. They probably just try to keep it under wraps.
Totally. And they have a ton of security.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
This is a Kardashian episode.
Yeah.
I didn't mean
you're
to
all-
make it about them. I
We're
just
keeping
think it's
up
so
with them.
strange how they
We are
do
keeping up
it.
with
I don't know.
I know. I can't imagine a
Weird.
life like that.
Yeah,
It
me
would be
neither.
miserable.
Yeah.
At like no amount of money to me is worth that.
No.
Agreed.
No.
I'd do it for a couple mil. What's your privacy for a couple mil?
Aren't they like billions?
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
assume
but
so. They make
Yours would just
I'm a-
be
I'm a
you
cheap
cooking some
bitch.
steak, you cooking some meat.
Just give me some
Yeah,
Wagyu.
Mariel's like, give me
Yep.
a good grill.
Yep, that's you.
I'm good to go. All right, so before we move on, I would like to say thank you to SimpleHealth. This episode of Always Open is brought to you by SimpleHealth. No more doctor's offices, waiting rooms, or pharmacy lines. Get birth control prescribed, renewed, and delivered from wherever you are on your schedule. Geographic proximity to a doctor, insurance status, or income should never be barriers when it comes to accessing birth control. SimpleHealth helps cut those barriers down for all women. SimpleHealth is discreet, birth control is a personal choice, and SimpleHealth is a discreet and comfortable option. SimpleHealth only offers trusted brands of birth control. They aren't making their own. SimpleHealth doctors can prescribe the pill, patch, or ring and will personalize a recommendation based on your health profile and personal preferences. Very nice. SimpleHealth offers affordable care regardless of insurance. They accept insurance, and birth control is free with most insurance plans. For those without insurance, the average cost is $18 a month, depending on the type of prescribed, and delivery is free.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
Baller. That's awesome. This service is not a replacement for routing evaluations by your primary care doctor or gynecologist, but it is the most convenient and comfortable way to get your birth control. The prescription is usually $20, but SimpleHealth is offering you a prescription for free. So just go to simplehealth.com/open or enter the promo code OPEN at checkout. That's a free prescription when you go to simplehealth.com/open or enter the promo code OPEN at checkout.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is really nice, because there's a lot of people who I've met over the course of the years who've wanted to go on birth control, and they're like, I don't know how to organize a doctor's visit for that, or who I need to talk to, or if like they'll prescribe it to me, blah, blah, blah. This is awesome. I wish this existed when I was a kid.
I know.
Yeah, well, and especially I think of like
Indiscreet.
teens,
Yeah.
who a lot of people like might go to a family doctor who like you would hope keeps that stuff under wraps, but you never really know, if, especially if like parents and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's a good way to be safe and like take care of yourself.
Safe sex, it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. let's talk about your book, Miss
Oh,
Kati
yeah.
Morton.
We got a book, and you need to sign it. I opened it, and I was so excited. I saw your note. I was like, "Where's the signature? Where's the signature?"
I didn't have the books. They sent them out separately from the publisher, so that's why I wrote the notes.
Well, I want you to sign it so I can have my own autographed copy.
Oh my God. Is this the first one you're signing?
No, sorry.
Oh.
Well, do you know what? Just
we just
don't
did
even
it.
bother.
No, sorry.
You want me to write it out to you?
Oh my God, yes.
Her name is spelled B-A-R.
So, when did you? I know you said earlier you've been wanting to write a book for the longest time. So when did you finally were like, okay, now is the time?
It was probably like 3 years ago.
Wow.
It takes a while,
Right,
to
yeah.
like make a book happen and get the right publisher on board and the editor that you like. And I'd found a literary agent, JL, who's amazing and believed in it from like the get-go. And it took a little while to like develop exactly what the idea was. But about 3 years ago, I was like, I'd really like to try to write a book.
Yeah.
And then over the years, we put together a proposal, shaped it into what it is, and then we found Dan, my editor, who was great, and he really understood the importance. He had just finished working on a book with John Saunders,
Oh, yeah.
who's the guy from ESPN. But he'd struggled with mental health issues a lot and never had any support. And he was like, this would have been great for him if he was a kid. And like, I was like, yes, okay,
Yeah.
I would work with you.
Yeah.
Because you want you want people to get what you do.
Right.
Well, you also
Not
want them
everybody does.
to like the thing that you're
Yeah.
pitching and not just be like, yeah, I guess, like,
Yeah, this could make money,
fine.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be actually passionate about it.
Yeah,
Totally.
believe in it.
Is there like a target audience that you would say this book is for?
I would say it's for either someone who's struggling or if you know someone.
Yeah.
It's really to meet you wherever you're at.
All
Yeah.
ages and everything like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. That's the impression I got from it, where it's like very easily understood concepts and like explanations of different things, but it's not playing it down like a kid's book for mental health might.
Yeah, no, it's just like in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's like therapist-y terms and words, but then I describe them in a way that like, you're like, oh, I know what that means. Okay, cool.
That's good, because I think like a lot of people don't in the beginning, they don't really understand mental health and whatnot. And I think it's like if you explain it to them in a way that they understand, it's so much more helpful. So there are terms and stuff I don't get and why. I'm like, describe it to me as if I don't know what any of this means.
Yeah, because most
So-
people don't, like, we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
I always like that, because like, how are you supposed to even ask the question if I'm just like, oh, that's a thing? Had no idea. And so that's why it starts out with like, what's the difference between mental health and mental illness? Because people use the
Love
words
it.
interchangeably, but they're
Yeah.
very different.
Yeah.
I didn't
and
know
then,
that.
Yeah, see?
That's great.
So,
Yeah.
and then like, how do you know when you need help? Like, when is it like, oh, I'm just having like a tough time, and then like, oh, I should see somebody.
Yeah.
'Cause those are different.
Yeah.
Some people think that they could just power through something, or like,
Right.
Yeah.
oh, I'm not having a mental illness because like that's not me. But it's like, well, maybe it is. You just aren't familiar with all the symptoms or signs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think
that.
pride can be people's like worst enemy
Yeah.
a lot of the time, because you.
Totally.
For myself included, yeah, I know you're looking at me, but 100%. I was always someone who, like, I tried going to therapy and I was like, I don't need this. And I think I didn't have a therapist that matched very well.
Yeah.
And then back in like October, September, I was just kind of like, oh shit, I'm not having a good time. I'm mean. I'm angry.
That's the thing, like, you're knowing your symptoms. and
Yeah,
signs.
and so I was just
Felt
kind of
like
like,
you're not yourself.
I need to do this, and it's been great. I told myself, I was like, I'm gonna go until the end of the year and evaluate, and I was just like, I don't want to stop going, so why stop now?
Yeah, and that's how it should be. And like, that's why I walk through like how to find the right person, how to know if they're good or bad. Because just like any job, some people are good and some people are bad.
Yeah.
I need to know that because I'm going through that right now with my therapist.
Yeah, perfect.
That's great.
That's something that I also wanted to bring up. Ever since we had you on the show, there's been some updates.
Oh, yes,
I
catch
know,
me up.
Mariel, you've started to see a therapist
Yeah.
ever since, because you weren't
Right.
seeing one before.
No, I think last time I think last time you left the show, and I was really like, man, I should start going to therapy. We always say it, and we should actually do it. And so yeah, it's like I said earlier, it's been great. It's kind of tough when you're hearing things that like, because I guess I didn't really pick up on like the fact that like what I say in there to someone else is kind of like not necessarily being recorded, but like she remembers things and she
Yeah.
like knows what to pick up on and whatnot. And so there's been moments where I like say things and she's like, oh well, that's kind of reminded me of something you said back then, and maybe those two things relate. And it's like, oh
does she-
fuck.
Yeah.
How does anybody do
Yeah,
like,
how do you have the memory to like go back?
especially
and,
multiple patients? And,
Yeah.
I mean,
like,
you take notes.
Yeah.
Like any good therapist will take some notes.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. Maybe it's just part of like why we're good at what we do.
Yeah.
Because I don't
That's
really
true.
know. Because I'm really good at seeing patterns.
Gotcha.
And I don't like necessarily write things down, but I'll be like, oh, that feels a lot like this.
Yeah.
You know, and then then my patients, even in my own therapy, my therapist will say stuff like that, and I'm like, oh yeah, shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got me.
Crazy. Yeah, the first session I had, she like wrote a bunch of stuff down, and then after that, it's been kind of just like talking and then like recalling things or like, you know, like, okay, well, trying this, and like mindfulness has been a big thing.
Yeah.
My first therapist that I had was very much like a lot of imagery and like trying to like imagine yourself doing this.
And that's what
doing
you said that the therapist you're seeing does that a lot too.
Yeah,
Right?
and it's, it works for some people, and I
Yeah.
can see why it works. But for me, I was just like, I need someone to talk it out and like to be realistic and to kind of be like, hey, like, I see these patterns in you. You're maybe those aren't the healthiest. Like, let's find a way to like react better to things.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
be more mindful when it comes to anxiety for sure, and just trying to like what did she say the other day? She was like, you know, we're basically reteaching your brain how to handle situations.
Yeah, because you really are. They call that like neuroplasticity.
That's what
Not
it
to
was.
like totally nerd out, but
I love it.
but it's like, I know. Are we ready?
Yes.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Learning.
but the brain, the cool thing is that you can change.
Yeah.
That's what's awesome. That's what makes therapy work. And so neuroplasticity is the science behind why your brain can relearn or learn new things. Like you can teach an old dog new tricks, essentially.
And I'm an
because
old
of
dog.
neuroplasticity.
It's so funny you say that because we're like rewiring your brain, because I've described to my boyfriend sometimes where I have trust issues that probably stem from my parents' divorce. And I
I like
will
how you're
describe-
therapizing like yourself.
No, yeah. Well, because I'm about to explain that it sometimes feels like there's like a brick wall in my brain, and I can feel it trying to like knock through the brick wall, and it just like, no, that wall's there,
Yeah, it's
you
like,
know?
nope,
and I
don't
can like,
believe you.
I can feel it. It's stop
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's like thought cycles and patterns we can get into. Like you can learn how to thought stop. Anyway, we can totally get into like, there's so many different types of therapy and different techniques. And I talk about the different types of therapy in the book so
Oh,
that people
good.
can kind of like
yeah.
make sense of what it is and how it came to be.
And maybe see like by reading that, maybe what's right for them in terms of
Exactly.
different types of therapy.
And why like I think psychoanalysis is just like total bullshit.
This is so interesting.
So
What is psychoanalysis?
it's like, it has its place because it's like the birth of psychotherapy as we know it. It's like Freud. That's how he started, and like believing everything comes from like, you know, you want to have sex with your father or your mother. And, like, what he was doing, I know, you're like, oh. And that's why it's like, most people, I'd say like 90% of people practicing today would agree with me, but like maybe some older, more stubborn people would be like, no, it's the only way.
Yeah.
But it's talk therapy. The therapist, like, you don't even look at the therapist usually. They don't give you any feedback. You do like free association. It lasts for years. And doesn't make sense, and it doesn't actually help. But we needed it in order to like figure out the rest of the stuff,
To
right?
learn.
It was the birth. It was the rebirth.
The
It
rebirth.
was the
a
initial
theme.
birth.
There you go.
Comes
Yeah.
full circle. No,
Yeah.
that's how, you know, therapy started
Yeah.
as a thing.
Yeah, it's always interesting too, going in and just being like, I feel bad talking about myself all the time. So like, how are you? Like, what's up with you? How's it going? She's just like, I'm good. Like, no, tell me.
Yeah. I feel like
trying
that
to
would
get
be
this
my
off of me.
problem because I feel this guilt if I talk about myself for too much time, where I'm just like, okay, like how was your weekend? Like, tell
Yeah.
me, because like I've talked
Why
for
is that? Like,
30
why-
seconds. It's too much already.
Why do we feel that way? Why do I feel?
I think it's self-confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like low self-confidence.
I struggle with that too.
Yeah, because it's the way you talk to yourself. My guess would be, my hypothesis is
Yeah.
that you don't like to talk about yourself too much because you're like, oh, I'm not as important, or I don't want to seem like a jerk. It's like people pleasing, which kind of goes hand in hand with self-confidence because you don't believe that you're enough and can please people just as you are.
Yeah.
You have to like go over and be above and beyond.
I have a habit of if I ever have something like I'm actually really happy about that just happened in my life, like a big accomplishment or something that I did, and I like tell people about it, and then I'm like, I go back in my head an hour or two later being like, did I talk about too much? Am I bringing this up too often? Are they getting annoyed with me talking about this?
I know.
Oh my God, they think I'm like really self-centered. Why am I doing this?
You like
Yes, I
thought
know.
spiral into.
Why?
Yeah.
Yes. That's it. No, I know it's.
She's
so
like
weird.
there with you.
Or like I'll picture him like, oh, people are probably talking about like, God, that Jessica girl talks way too much about herself. I know she accomplished that thing, but like, oh, okay, I won't talk about it. It'll be
Even
fine.
though in reality we're all just like, that's awesome. Like we want to hear more about it.
Yeah, especially if you surround yourself with like amazing people, and I know
But
that.
that's the thing.
Yes.
Is like surrounding yourself with people who lift you up and are excited for you, because there really shouldn't be a need to apologize for your life.
Yeah.
Like that's essentially what you're kind of trying to do, you know, when
Yeah.
we're like, oh, I did this amazing thing, but then like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. No, it's a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
Go you.
Even at the beginning
So
of the
exciting.
show, when I was like, I wrote this sketch.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna crawl into a hole now as I have a panic attack.
Well, from now on, we can just tweet at Katie and be like, Katie, we did this thing, and she'll shower
And
us
I'll,
with love.
all the gifs of
Yeah, all the like little emojis of like this and like the
so proud.
hand claps. And Jessica, you've also, if you don't mind talking about it, have started seeing a therapist
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah, and a similar situation, Mariel, is, and I'm going to read your book, but I love that you actually bring that up about how do you know which therapist is best for you and what kind of therapist you need, because she's so sweet, but she's so gentle with me, and I appreciate that, but I want somebody to like
More of a hard ass.
more of a hard ass and stuff. And I used to
Tough
see
love.
this, maybe some tough
That's more of the
love.
type of therapy I need and that I like offer to my patients.
Yeah.
I need someone to be like, you doing
Yeah.
that thing again.
Yeah.
Avoiding that conversation. Nope.
Yep. Because I feel like, and this has happened, if they're too gentle with me, although I should treat myself forgivingly and with kindness, but sometimes it will make me want to do it again. I'm like, oh, it's okay. But sometimes it's like, no, stop. You do this all the time and you need to stop.
Yeah. You need
And-
someone to like hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's
I'll
not
give you
that.
tough
Okay, cool.
Hey,
Love
sign
it.
me up.
Yo, bitch!
Yeah, thank you.
Remove that brick wall.
No, but it's true
No.
because sometimes when you have someone who's not really like, if you want that and that's not what you're getting, then you're just kind of almost reinforcing those behaviors.
Yeah, it's only been 3 times.
Yeah.
So
No,
maybe
but it's not going to make everything
Okay.
terrible yet.
Right,
but
right,
you are right. Like that's the thing about therapy that's tricky is, and why I think the book is important. Not just because I wrote it, but I think people don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it shouldn't. How to figure that out shouldn't be something that we don't know. That's
Right.
not accessible.
I really have no idea.
But nobody does, and it's always
Yeah.
like
It's not like, other than talking to you about it, I don't think I've ever heard people talk so openly about mental health and where to find resources for it and everything like that. Like, it's just not something that's as widespread
Yeah.
knowledge as it needs to be.
Well, I think people are afraid of like what it says about them,
Yeah.
or, because the stigma is associated with it. But also, I think that like not enough clinicians, meaning like mental health professionals, are open enough about the process. Like it shouldn't be behind a paywall, first of all, for you to be able to understand the difference between mental health and mental illness and what depression could feel like. Like that should just be open knowledge.
Yeah.
But also, like, we shouldn't use so many acronyms in the therapy world. We're like, oh, I'm an LMFT or an LCSW or a PsyD or a LPCC. And you're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck does that mean?
WTF.
Exactly. And no one
Yeah.
tells you. And
Yeah.
we use and like, same with therapies. There's like CBT and EMDR and DBT. And you're like, brr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
LOL.
It's funny.
Yeah.
I had a friend the other day. She's a what is it? LCSW.
Yes.
Social worker. And I was like, oh yeah, I've been going to therapy. And she was like, let me see, the credentials. And I showed her. And she was like, Oh, she ends with that. All right. And I was like,
What does that mean?
and I was like,
making me doubt it.
What do you? I was like, I've been having a good time. I've been enjoying it. Is this person not qualified? And she's like, no, she is, but she's not a social worker. And I was like, shut the fuck up, just because you are. Like,
And there isn't, people are that way. Like,
Yeah.
there's like, they feel like there's a hierarchy, but I think, like, I think it's chapter 4 where I talk about everyone's differences and what that means education-wise. But the truth is, if you like them, you feel like they're on your
Right.
side and they hear you, then they're totally fine.
Right.
Like, that's all. Don't worry
Yeah.
about all the other stuff.
Will you go over like what you actually discuss in the book?
Like which chapter?
Yeah, like chapters. Like what are you
Oh,
discussing
yeah.
in there?
I mean, the chapters,
yes.
Give us a little rundown.
well, like the mental health, mental illness, then why it can feel so hard to get better, which is the like when I first want to, but then I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
do I need to? I don't know. And then you start, and then you're like, wow, this is way harder than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I could talk
Yeah.
about that. How to know if you need help, warning signs, what to look out for,
Yeah.
so you know when
Important
it's
one.
reached a point.
Yeah.
do you have a chapter in there on when will I stop crying in therapy?
I talk about that it's okay to cry in therapy.
Well, I sure hope it is.
Yeah.
Golly.
I feel like it's like that's the most cathartic thing.
I cry every time almost.
Yeah.
I cry
99.
thinking about.
Oh yeah. I mean, I like literally. You sit down and she's like, "How are you doing today?" I'm just like, "Well, actually, I thought it was a pretty good day, but now that you asked." But it's getting to the point that maybe I should go into acting because I can almost like. I cry
draw.
so
Do
often.
it,
Yeah, I can
do
like
it.
almost bring it out of myself.
Yeah.
That's an impressive skill.
That's good, though. I
is.
think that's why it's hard at first. Like you're more tearful at first because you're like in it, working
Yeah.
on it, and then just know that you'll like get over that hump, and then you'll be like, yay.
It's funny because the book title is "Are You Okay?" But like to me, that is what sets me off. Like if I'm having a bad day and someone's like, "Are you okay?" and I'm like, "Boo." actually, no. Like, it's only when someone asks you,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like you have to be serious about it for a second. You're
And I
like,
wonder why that makes you want to. It's like when actually somebody says, "Are you okay?" Is it because they care, and you're just
Yeah.
like, well, thank you.
I think it is because like someone's actually paying attention.
Yeah.
Well, and you can't hide it because someone's like calling it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they notice.
And even if it's like you're trying to stuff it down, you know, when you're like, big swallow.
Oh, I know the big lump.
And then if someone's like, and when you're in the midst of doing that, someone's like, "Are you okay?" You're like, "I'm really not."
Yeah.
So
That lump in the throat is so difficult,
Yeah.
especially like in professional settings. Like I've been in meetings before where I've like fought with people on certain things that I was
yeah.
very like passionate about, and like business meetings, and they're basically denying me all these things, and I'm trying to still make my point, but be like, I'm a powerful, brave woman.
I'm an independent woman.
Yeah.
Sometimes I cry.
And it's like usually a room full of men,
Right.
so it's like don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
It's hard. What else?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then mental health professionals decoded.
Okay.
What's an LCSW, LPCC, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
What's the best for me? Finding the right kind of therapy. Yes. Preparing for your first appointment. Thank you. What to expect and what questions to ask. Because I think there's a lot of worries about the first appointment. People are super scared.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, what is it? Why? And it's like a weird first date.
Yeah.
Just so everybody kind of knows but they don't tell you anything about them. Even if you're like, so what's going on with you? We're like, I'm good. So back to the
I'm good.
and why we even do that. So like, why is that the way
Yeah.
therapy is? Love it. And then like, is my therapist a good fit? Feeling the click in the therapeutic relationship, which I think a lot of people don't know, and they'll be in bad therapy settings for a really long time. And it's not always the therapist. It's just like not a good combo.
Yeah.
It's a bad recipe kind of thing.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Then toxic relationships. What are they?
Which
Warning
we might
signs.
get into later.
Girl, I want to
Moments.
get into that.
I know. And then communication. So like communication tools that we can use to better our relationships, even with ourselves, but like with others. And then avoiding common mistakes that you make in relationships. And then help. I'm in therapy and still struggling. How to get more help when you need it.
Oh,
Man.
Well, where can
Nice.
people find this book?
On Amazon, at Barnes & Noble's, any bookstore in your area, just ask for it by name.
Yes. Absolutely.
When I was in the airport, I was like, is it in there? Did I didn't see it. But I was definitely a weird creeper girl, just like walking through all the bookstores being like, this is so crazy.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yes,
This is amazing.
seriously, congrats.
You're gonna help you already helped so many people, but you're gonna help so much more people.
Absolutely.
I just hope I hope it's helpful. So let
And,
open
smart.
Absolutely. I think
I'm sure we'll have a link by then as well that we could put in the description
Yeah, for sure.
of this
And
video.
Probably a lower third.
Lower third, et cetera, et cetera.
Or we did
Well,
that.
speaking of toxic people, we have a question that was submitted, I think, last time we had you on the show. Is
Okay.
that where we grabbed it?
No, it was recent. It's a
Oh, recent.
question.
Okay.
But
never
it
mind.
dealt with what we were talking about today, so it fits it.
All right, so it doesn't have a name here, so I'll just read the question. Hey, Always Open. My question is about toxic people in your life and how to deal with them. I have two very close friends that mean the world to me. They tend to make jokes that put me down a lot and hit on my insecurities more often than I'd care to admit. When I get distant, they comfort me and I tell them my anxiety is getting to me. I just don't tell them that it's them causing it. The main issue is that we work together, so I see them 5 days a week, and I do confront them. And if I do confront them, it could make things real awkward real quick. They really bring me down and make things as simple as going to work way harder than it should be. What would you do if you were in my position?
And it's tricky because if it is possible in this situation, it sounds like it's not, but it's best to talk to people. And I don't really like the term confront because that sounds like you're going to start a fight.
Yeah.
And it's more what they could potentially do if they think it could be taken well is like talk to them about it, because it's okay to acknowledge that like when they say something that's hurtful and someone puts you down, which people shouldn't talk to you that way. Like that's not okay.
Yeah.
People should like not do that. But people are jerks.
Right.
Also, I think, not to side with the friends at all, but I think sometimes people have a certain sense of humor or way of acting around people they feel like they're friends with, where
Totally.
their sense of humor is like making fun of people or putting them down, and it's not necessarily with negative intentions.
Totally, but they might not know that it hurts your feelings.
Exactly. Right.
And so that's why you have to try to communicate. So saying something to the effect of like, when they make a comment like, "Oh, wearing that stupid shirt again," or so, I don't even know.
Right.
I'm not a very good bully.
You and that stupid,
that dang it anyway.
curled your hair today.
Put that lipstick on your lips. Damn. I work on that.
Got it.
But I think when they do that, then you could say, "Hey, like it's hard for me sometimes when you say that. Like, I know you're making a joke, but it's just hard."
Or like, I'm not very secure about what you're making fun of me
Yeah.
about, like, and I'm working on that, but if you could avoid maybe making
Exactly.
comments about this, even if it's in jest, because it does, like, make me insecure about it.
Totally. And if they are real friends or people you've known for a while, they should be like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
And most people would do that.
yes.
I would like to think.
I would
Yeah.
like to think, but I don't know if it's malicious or not.
Yeah.
So like, but I think they should, since they're friends
Right.
So
at work.
that's my next question then. How do you know where that line is of like when to kind of cut toxic relationships off and stuff? When you're just
do
like,
we
I'm trying to, yeah, of like, well, I know they're just having fun, but it also makes me feel crappy. I've already spoken to them about it, but I still feel crappy about it when they still do
If
it.
they
I
don't change their
If they,
behavior.
like-
yep, that's it. If they don't change their behavior and you have a direct conversation. So most of us get really nervous when we go to talk to somebody about something that makes us a little vulnerable. So like writing down what you want to say and practicing it ahead of time. So it's like you can just roll through what you need to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's usually the best way to like prepare. And then if they don't change, I honestly would give them like one more little comment where you're like, remember I told you, and then, and the cutting
yeah.
shouldn't be like, oh, I'm just gonna ghost you. You should be like, you know, I've tried to talk to you and I understand, like maybe we have different senses of humor, but I'm just having a hard time, so I'm sorry if you find me distant, but I'm just gonna have to distance myself for my own mental health
Yeah.
or my own self-confidence or my own you know,
Yeah.
security or
Yeah,
whatever.
my own happiness.
Yeah.
And then moonwalk out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that for
And like
sure.
we've often said on the show too, because we get a lot of questions about bad people in people's lives, of just life is so short that you shouldn't have to put up with people who don't have your best interest in mind.
Totally.
Especially when you vocalize things and talk to people about it. Like, don't waste your time trying to make friendships or relationships with people who are just bad for you.
Yeah.
And bad to you.
Totally. And that's the thing is like, you can, that's why you try to communicate, 'cause it's good practice for us to like assert ourselves and share what we need. But life's too short and free time gets only less and less as you get older. Like, don't spend any time trying to make something work. It's like a bad recipe. That's why I say in the book, it's like, it doesn't mean that both of you are bad people or one person's bad, it's just a bad recipe.
Right.
So like, you don't want onions in your banana bread, so like, you probably just aren't gonna blend with that person.
Some people don't.
But if you do,
Yeah,
you do.
but if you're making
Yeah.
spaghetti, throw all the onions in there.
Yeah,
It's onion sauce,
but
you
no
see?
bananas.
But no bananas.
See? I mean, oh, that sounds real gross. Yeah. But yeah, so sometimes it just doesn't work.
My grandmother's
Yeah.
specialty, banana spaghetti.
Blech.
But yeah, I don't know. And especially, I think like work environments are so, especially when there's like a lot of young people, because you can have the like relationships that are like, oh, we're chummy, we're friends, we're the same age, blah blah blah, and it's like, yeah, but you wouldn't talk to me the way you talk to like someone who's like above you, or not even above you, but someone in a different department. So like, why me?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people also play on their own insecurities and unhappiness. And
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
I'm not happy with myself, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's like, bleh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so full of shit about myself, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
disperse it. Yeah.
There have been people that I've known personally who almost went through an exact situation like this, where it was people that they worked with who joked around with them a lot, but in a very demeaning kind of way, like put them down a lot, to the point where they didn't want to work with them at all. They would get mad at them. They would like fight with them constantly. And I was like, have you ever just told this person that what they're saying to you and like the jokes they're making around you
Yeah.
hurt your feelings?
Yeah, because being passive aggressive doesn't help.
Yeah.
That's why there's a whole chunk of the book about that too, because a lot of people, when we don't feel that we can assert ourselves or actually have the conversation, super awkward, super hard, totally get it. But then we're gonna act out in other ways where we're
Right.
like, then we're the bad person.
Yeah.
We've like flipped the roles because we never told them. People
Yeah.
can't
Yep.
read your mind
Yeah.
for better, right? We
Yeah.
don't want them
Yeah.
reading our minds.
I would not want that power.
No.
No.
Whenever people talk
Yeah.
about superpowers, I'm like, I don't want to read people.
No, I want to fly. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to be able to like stop time. That'd be pretty cool.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Get so much done.
yeah.
Probably age a lot faster though.
True, because you're moving forward, but everybody, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you look rough today.
You're like, I'm like 10 years old.
I experienced lifetimes. Well, great advice. Anybody else have anything to say before we close this down? This question.
Oh, and if also, just to finish it out, since it is work, if you talk to them and it does get bad and you're like, wow, this isn't getting any better, it is okay to talk to HR. Just keep in mind that HR is there to protect the company, not you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that, and they're going to do their best to protect the company, but you could say, I've tried to resolve it, go to your boss or whomever, And you could say like, hey, I'd prefer, if it's possible, to not be on as many projects because I've tried to say things to them and they keep doing this.
Yeah.
And I don't really know what steps we can take to make it better.
There have also been situations, another friend of mine had, again, another situation very similar to this, where when he did confront these people, they made fun of him. They were just like, oh, like, don't be a baby about it, or blah,
That
blah, blah,
happens,
blah.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like, to me, that is absolutely worse than being like, I should take this criticism seriously and like actually know that what I'm saying is damaging to this person. Instead of being like, pff, like, grow some balls or whatever. the person said
Aren't
to
we
them.
more adult than that? But some
Yeah.
people aren't.
You would hope so. But
Yeah.
there are certain people that you're like, oh, I should talk to them about that. I should, but you already know how they're going to react. So
Yeah.
it's like, maybe
You
I
almost
should
don't.
start finding
Yeah.
ways to start like distancing myself a
Yeah,
little bit.
Totally.
I do have one like side question. This is something I wonder all the time. When there's somebody that you're maybe not getting along with, or it's not a good recipe, as you said, where you kind of try and put yourself in their shoes and be like, they're acting this way because maybe they're going through some stuff in their life, or because you try and be forgiving and give them the benefit of the doubt, and I don't want to be angry.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, well, they're probably going through this, and I know that this happened. When it's like that whole thing of like, that's true, they are going stuff, we all have insecurities, but we are, like you said, also adults, so we do know right from wrong, even when we are going through stuff internally. And that whole like, where's that line of how much you put up with? I guess that's kind of like the other question I just asked you.
Yeah.
But like, I'm trying to figure that out.
Sounds like you put up with a lot of shit.
Well, sometimes, yeah, there's some shit that
Give people the
happens.
benefit of the doubt
Yeah.
too much.
And you
Maybe
can
I
at
do.
first, but again, like when you've said something to them and they don't change, like we're all responsible for ourselves. I get frustrated when people are like, it needs to be a trigger-free environment. And I get it, but you have to manage your own triggers. The world is never trigger-free. People are never not going to be a jerk. Like there's
Yeah.
always going to be that one person who's a total ass, and you're like, why?
Yeah.
And so, but we're responsible for ourselves. And that means that they're responsible for themselves. So if someone's being a total asshole, I don't care if you're having like a really rough time. If I've tried to talk to you about it and you just continue to belittle me, sure, you might get better and come back around. But for right now, I'm just going to be like, I'm going to moonwalk out of there.
Yeah. It's also like, I've had tough time and have not been an asshole.
Same.
Right.
That's true.
Same.
Yeah.
If I can manage it.
Yeah, then like,
Yeah.
you're responsible for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how you treat
That's true.
people.
Yeah.
And so just think about it. Like, would I treat someone that way? Probably not.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, before I move on to our final segment of the episode, I would like to say that this episode of Always Open is brought to you by Zola. I like that name. Zola. Yeah.
Zola.
Zola is reinventing the wedding registry and planning process to make the happiest moment in couples' lives even happier. Join 500,000 couples who've used Zola. Zola takes the stress out of wedding planning with free wedding websites, your dream wedding registry, affordable, I got it. I know how to say those words. Save the dates and invitations, and easy-to-use planning tools. Start with a free wedding website. It's so easy and takes just a minute to set up. Over 100 beautiful wedding website designs to choose from that fit any couple style and every type of wedding. Zola makes it easy to personalize your favorite design with all your wedding details. You could put your Zola registry on your wedding website, so guests can get all the details they need. I think saying wedding website is
That's a
little
tongue
tongue
twister.
twister.
You got it though.
Zola makes registering for newlywed life so easy. The Zola store has the widest selection of gifts at all different price points. There's something for every guest to give. Guests love free shipping and returns, price matching, and more. Actually, Patrick in broadcast used Zola for his wedding registry.
Did.
Really?
And he loved it. And we did too. It was super cute invites. He says he loves the wide variety of gifts to choose from, even for pets. They even have pet gifts.
He was like, my cat got gifts. Perfect.
Nice. Creating his registry was simple and fast. And to start your free wedding website and also get $50 off your registry, go to zola.com/open. That's spelled zola.com/open to start your free wedding website and get $50 off your registry on Zola. Thank you, Zola.
That sounds super.
Wedding website.
That sounds super efficient. Like that sounds so.
One-stop shop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right there.
And since Patrick
One
used
and
it and it went well, I'm sold.
Yeah.
There you go.
I want to just put Patrick through everything that we try on the show. So, did you like it? Is it good?
His new title, Guinea Pig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get Patrick on SimpleHealth. Let's do it.
There you go.
Asking about his birth control.
All right, so the final segment of the show is a question submitted by Lucy W. And Lucy would like to know, if you didn't have to sleep, what would you do with the extra time?
God, you know,
I love sleep.
yeah. Well, I'd really like to think that I would use that time wisely. But I know myself.
I know, me too.
And I'm trying to break those bad habits
I
that
binged
I
through
have.
Netflix shows so much faster.
I don't
Yes.
even do that. I like literally just lay on my bed like this, and I develop neck rolls and mess up my back even more.
How do you think I got these wrinkles on my neck?
How do you think I got these rings?
Yeah,
It's called the late night Instagram.
Yeah. that's
Yeah, there you
exactly-
go. There you go.
Or this thing.
Yeah, I try to
Yep.
catch myself when I'm
Yep.
doing that. And I'm like,
Yeah, I try to do like a shoulder blade down and back.
Yeah.
I try. Sometimes I put like a little pillow in between right here, so I'll just go like this.
Have you seen the infomercial things back in the day for like working out your neck? It was like,
Yeah.
stick it here. Look it up on YouTube. It's hilarious. Ooh. Get one of those. Just
All
pop
right.
it up.
Yeah.
There's actually an app I downloaded that has different types of workouts, including workouts for your face.
What?
So it's like stuff like this, like strengthen this muscle and like.
oh.
We used to do that in college in one of my classes, or it was called movement, where our teacher would make us like sit in the mirror because it was a dance studio, and we would all sit cross-legged in front of the mirror, and then she's like, all right, now wake your face up, and so we would just sit there and make faces, and then she's like, now massage your face, now slap.
Wait, what? This was in college?
Yeah, because it was a movement class, so it's just about how to like use your body and like how to use your body to communicate with others for acting and all this. And so yeah, we had to wake our faces up. It was also a 10 a.m. class. It wasn't super late, but it's not, you're in college.
I feel like that would actually be quite effective. Actually,
I like the slap.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, like don't
Punch.
Yeah, punch yourself. Black eye. Yeah.
So I'd like to. I would hope that better sleepless me would use my time wisely and efficiently to learn new skills. But
Yeah.
I know myself. I know this bitch. I know she's trying to break out of those bad habits. But I.
Do you think it'd be different if it was like for the next 3 months you don't need to sleep anymore and you could use that time as you see
like
fit? Like it was a
A limited edition.
Yeah,
Get
not
it while
just
it's
like a-
hot.
Maybe, hopefully,
Yeah. I feel like I would work out
you work out.
because I haven't been doing that recently. Only because I wake up too late to do it in the morning.
Yep.
I used to sometimes go at lunch, but now it's just like things are so busy these days that like
Yeah.
I can't even escape. I also don't like going outside when it's cold.
Me neither.
And then after work, all I want to do is go home, put on my pajamas,
Girl.
eat dinner, and
watch
watch
Netflix.
TV.
100%.
And so I feel like if I had that extra 8 hours, whatever it is, to
Yeah.
even just like an hour of that working out.
Yeah,
I would definitely do it.
I agree. I'd do that because I used to make time for a while. I was totally on a tear. I was like going for my walks, doing yoga like twice a week, and I was like,
Damn,
look
girl.
at me, look at me. And then it like derailed. And I was like,
Yeah.
and here we are.
And
Like
Here we are.
5-6 months ago, I just like stopped. Like,
Yeah.
Cold turkey, basically.
I'd also like to learn French though, because Sean, my husband's family is Quebecois, so like they speak the French, and I do not.
they speak
Well,
of the
if you want to
French.
know how to talk with a Quebecois
I
accent,
could oh yes, bibi.
it's a lot of this.
But they also instead of say we, they be like oui.
Oui.
So
Oui.
it's like this weird. It's a weird style of French, but I would at least like to understand part of it.
I remember
Okay.
very well.
So instead of saying we, it's
Oui.
Oui.
It's kind of like a.
Qu'est-ce que tu
well,
fais
qu'est-ce que tu-
le week-end?
Which is le weekend. It's like half English, half
Yeah.
French, you know.
Qu'est-ce que tu
why does your mouth have to be like that?
T-shirt. It's
Super hot.
It's not like Parisian French.
No.
Oh, comment ça va aujourd'hui?
Yeah, it's so clear and,
yeah,
it's, and there's a little like. I'm like Barbara, do the thing.
And go. Oh.
Yeah. So I would like to learn French.
Learn French.
So that then when we go to Quebec, I mean, they're like, oh, you're American. And then they try to speak English, but I would like to speak their language.
Yeah, I always forget that there's like a section of Canada that's just French.
Super French.
Super
Yeah.
French. Super.
And a lot of, like, most of Canada, like, you learn a lot of French growing up there.
You have to.
Yeah.
And you have to pass like a test in order to even work. Like, if you want to work for the government, you have to be bilingual.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a lot of things. I know. The more you know.
And most places, like when I tried to get a job when I lived in Montreal, you had to be bilingual for a lot of
Because you have to answer the phone. You can't be like, hello. You have to be like, bonjour.
Hello, bonjour.
Yeah. Bonjour. They go, bonjour, hello. Like before you start speaking one of the languages, and then they can continue in whatever language.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
No, seriously, if you ever go to Montreal, walk into a store and they go, hello, bonjour. Hi. Bonjour, hello.
Howdy.
Yep. Some variation of hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Just to like test what you speak.
And then when you're like, oh, hey, then they proceed in English.
Like, do you need help finding anything?
It's really crazy.
I'm gonna have to stop by.
What would you guys do?
Yeah.
I don't know. Try and learn. I mean, I've always wanted to learn French. I tried to right out of college. I'd like try to take some classes, but I just like it's one of those things where I think when you're in school and you're like kind of forced to do it, you get more immersed. And when you're trying to do it on your own, it's harder to get that immersion. And I think immersion like helps. But I would love to be trilingual one day.
Yeah, because you speak fluent Spanish.
Spanish and English, yeah.
So I don't know. I would. It's like how Edward Cullen's so smart and how he has time to listen to all that music.
I thought of him too.
That was the first thing I thought of. I was like, Edward
Twilight.
Cullen, he doesn't sleep. So what does he do all day?
Yeah.
What does he do all night?
He doesn't
I
sleep
haven't
at
never
all?
seen Twilight.
No, he doesn't
Yeah,
sleep.
I think Bella actually asks him when she enters this room. She's
Yeah,
like,
that's what
do
it
you
was.
do?
It's
And
the
he's
first
just like,
movie.
This. And
He's just like, I have all these
I
albums
like
and
Twilight,
books.
y'all.
I was really
Say
hoping he'd
that.
just be like,
Yeah, just all night.
fucking wank it.
24 hours. Wank City.
What else do you do when you're bored? That's what I would do if I didn't have to sleep. Just masturbate.
Yeah. God,
8 hours, 9 hours.
You know
straight.
what? I wonder if I would be a way less anxious person because my anxiety comes at night when I get into bed and I'm like laying down and I'm just like, time to sleep. Oh God. So maybe if I didn't have to sleep and I didn't have to put myself in that, because I get anxious, during the day, like random times, but it
But then
always,
you get like distracted.
That's
I
the
feel, but
thing.
at
right,
night,
it's the distractions.
Yeah, because there's so much going on that you don't have time to realize how anxious you are, and then everything's like, zhoo, and you're like, whoa,
Well, it's
shit.
also like it's dark and
scary.
you get scared.
I know what you mean.
Jessica's laughing at
way
my
you
scared
said it.
picture.
But I don't think anxiety is fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anxiety is like worry.
Yeah, like I always get the anxiety before I go to sleep. Like as I'm getting
I
to
get
bed,
the anxiety.
the anxiety it hits me. Of just like when I'm going to sleep at night and I'm like every single noise, I'm like, what was that? Who's that?
Oh, yeah.
Someone's breaking into my house. Oh my God. Like every car going outside, I'm like, it's somebody's coming and breaking into my house
I need
all
to
the time.
stop watching the demon movies. That's why I'm.
I've had to stop watching like scary things, especially before bed. I always try and go to like before bed. I watch like a sitcom or right now I'm watching
watch
like
Cheers.
Mrs. Maisel.
Oh yeah.
This is Maisel. I watched on the airplane.
good.
For one of one, I've only I'm just in, just tiptoe, and I was like, love it.
Yeah.
Need to watch it.
Everyone says I need to give it a watch.
That's the same.
too.
And it was on the plane, and everything else was trash, and I was like, yes.
See, you picked that, whereas I picked trash, keeping up the Kardashians on the plane. So
I didn't. See that. I did watch a rerun of The Office because why can't you? But they didn't have the dinner episode where they have like the dinner party.
of The Office.
That's my favorite episode of all
That's
time.
the best, and I love lilistening to what went on behind the scenes, how they could not keep a straight face throughout that
Oh, I
episode.
haven't even heard.
Oh, it's so great. It's awesome.
It's so fun.
I love
Yeah.
that stuff. I love the behind the scenes.
Me too.
Yes,
Me too.
and the
Watch
voiceover
people-
where you're like, this was ridiculous. I think that's why the Saturday Night Live skit with the more cowbell is so funny because not only is his belly hanging out and he's banging a cowbell, but the people in the back can't even keep a straight face.
Right.
They're like trying to play and they're just like,
Yeah.
I love watching them break.
I
We
know.
watched
That means it's
that
good.
SNL skit the other day. Me and Trevor watched this because we were just thinking about it, wanted to watch it. It was the one where it was the alien abduction,
Kate McKinnon.
and it's Kate McKinnon
with
and-
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ryan Gosling, and she's like basically like, yeah, and then they just started slapping my titties, but, like and like everybody in the cast is cracking. They're just like. And what did they do next? Like the whole skit.
I was Porky Pigging it there.
Yeah.
For a little bit. I was like, what does Porky Pigging mean?
Yeah.
And then I knew.
It's such such a great skit.
Found out what the Porky Pig is.
Yeah, there's something about like people in comedy just cracking each other up. It's
Totally.
great.
Did you watch the Baby Bird Saturday Night Live episode? It was
No.
I forget the woman. She was an alien. Dark
Sigourney?
Yes, Sigourney
yeah.
Weaver was in, and they like the family chews food and spits it into each
Oh,
other's
yes,
mouth.
yes.
And he comes over for like Thanksgiving
Yeah.
or something. They're like, "Your turn."
Yeah.
And like they're chewing, and they're just like all dying laughing, and like food is going everywhere, and you're just like, "This is so gross and ridiculous." And
I gotta see it.
die every time.
What I would do at night was probably
what I would do at night?
It'd be a mixture of trying to work out, and then probably cleaning, because I don't know what happens if I like deep clean my place on Sunday, and then the next Sunday rolls around. I don't know what happens between that Sunday and the other
Gremlins.
Sunday,
Yep.
where World War III looks like happened in my apartment. So it would be like the maintenance of it at night, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know what I do to where it
I
just
just
looks
picture you
like that.
putting on like a full like maintenance suit, like a janitor suit, and you're like, time to go to work.
Scrubbing every
Every
little
night.
crevice.
Yeah.
Same thing happens to me. On the weekend, I'll do like a major clean. My apartment's spotless, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be good about hanging stuff up,
Yes.
and putting dishes away, and doing this. And then
Then you
next
become
Sunday,
bad. You become a bad girl
You're right,
during the
you
week, and you
become
block it out
bad
again.
Yeah.
You're like,
Good, and
that
then
girl.
it's bad.
That's what happens. That's what happens to me because I'm the same way. And I'm like cleaning, and then I clean during the week, and my girlfriend's like, you're always cleaning. I'm like, but because I got bad.
I'm so messy.
I go bad. I tell myself I'm gonna do it, and then I say, fuck
girl.
you wish you just had to clean once.
I know.
Just be done.
Just forever. That's why we need a smart house.
Yeah.
Yes.
One that
Just
just
like
like locks it down and just like sprays everything, and then
movie.
it drains, and then.
Do you remember they like just throw everything on the floor and the house just like
The Disney movie?
What?
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, so good.
What's it called?
Smart house.
It's actually called. I thought you were talking about the smart house with like
too.
cue bulbs.
I mean, I got
and
that
Amazon
already.
Alexa.
And now I
Like
just need a house to
Nest.
clean it.
Yeah.
It answers you, buys things
I guess
for you.
maybe a Roomba could help with that.
I do have a Roomba.
Roombas are great.
But you have to first of all, this sounds so ridiculous, not a real problem. You have to set it for a time when it can go and you don't mind that it's going to be around, and you can't have any cords laying around because it'll eat them and it'll die, and they'll be like, please move Roomba, please move Roomba, and I'm like, damn it.
Roombas
So
are like little
you kind of have
pets.
it's like little high maintenance a little bit,
Okay.
but you just have to like prepare for Roomba.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You got to prepare your house. This happened to me
Yes.
the first. I got
Or
a
it'll get
Roomba.
caught somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. That
Mine got
happened
caught
to
in the
me.
bathroom and like ate up the rug kind of. It was like fluff everywhere. And I was like, what'd you do, Roomba?
And it's like, Mom.
I know. It's like, please charge Roomba. And I'm like, no shit, Roomba. You're in here for like, who knows how long.
The first time I ever got a Roomba, this was a couple years ago, I didn't realize I had to prepare my house for a Roomba to clean. And so I just like turned it on and I left to go grocery shopping. And I came home and like expecting to hear it still going because I was only gone for like 30, 40 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear it. And then I come around the corner and I have this chair that has these legs that kind of go up. And I guess it had went whoop right up.
On its
And it was just sitting on its side like beep.
Mommy, help
Beep,
me.
beep,
I know.
beep, beep, beep. And I was like, you
confused.
dumbass.
Right? And sometimes I like just run into stuff and I'm like, I thought you were getting smarter.
They don't.
Our first child, Roomba.
There you go.
Well, hopefully we'll have a smart home someday.
One day.
Well, that's all for the show, my ladies.
Yay.
That was great. Katie,
Yeah.
thank you again so much for coming
Yeah.
back.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
I'm
As a
going to get your
reminder,
book.
Check out her book.
Getting it.
Are You
Yeah.
Okay? Available on Amazon and Barnes &
Everywhere.
Noble and everywhere, and we'll put a link for you to grab it. Definitely.
Available where books are sold.
Oh, sweet.
Maybe Meryl will give you her copy.
Maybe
Just
not.
kidding, she won't.
I'm writing in it.
It's mine. It has my name in it.
You gotta
I already
finish
wrote the
revision.
name.
And Jessica, thank you for joining us.
Thank you
again,
so
of
much. I
course.
appreciate it. Yes.
Barbara, thank you.
Thank me.
Thank you, Barbara.
Cheers to that.
Barbara.
No, I don't like it.
Too much pressure.
Bye, guys.